why is Andrew Tate controversial? So I really, I've taken issue, on this show. I've went head to head with some of his commentary. I agree with some of what he said on certain things. I've strongly disagreed with some of what he said. And I think the best way to take on what I don't like from him is to produce my own content that says, this is why you're wrong. This is why your message is bad for guys. This is why your message is bad in this instance for women. This is why there's a better way, right? That's my approach. My approach is never take it down, take his stuff down. That is the way weak, insecure people respond to content they don't like. They say ban it, right? You're familiar with this. Even if let's say you don't like Andrew Tate, right? And on this issue, you're like, take his content down. Well, just remember that just a few months ago, people were taken down for misinformation. Maybe you were on the side of actual information that was falsely labeled misinformation. So just remember that this stuff can get very subjective and oftentimes is targeted at people who are having influence in some way that people at the top don't like. Let's just talk about Andrew Tate. So what was so controversial? Well, he is very controversial, quite a bit. He's discussed in some videos, I've seen him discuss hitting women. In some videos, I've seen him actually hit women. In one video I saw, he had what looked like a whip where he whipped someone. It looked, she was talking about how I didn't obey him and that's why I've been hurt. Now, he claims that individual was, in on it, that it was consensual and that that's a friend of his. He has not been charged with a crime. Let's say that. He has not been charged with a crime, but he does have videos like that out there. They exist out in the space. He has said things like he should have authority over women, and that's his belief. He's talked about how female self-defense is bullshit. We addressed that one on here. I told him why I believe he's 100% wrong. He was on the 17th season of Big Brother. I don't know if you remember that, in UK in 2016, and there were videos that surfaced of him, those videos hitting a woman at the time. Like I said he claims it was consensual. Regardless, he was removed from the show at that point as a result. In 2017, he was actually suspended from Twitter before all of these current social media bans came into play. He was suspended in 2017 on Twitter because he talked about rape victims. And he said rape victims must bear some responsibility for putting themselves in a position to be raped. It was. I'm not quoting him directly throughout. You can go find that content and look for yourself. But he alluded to the fact that there was some responsibility that people who had suffered from sexual assault may have. Now, keep in mind, a lot of this content that you see online is edited, right? So you go up, you pull up a video, someone may have posted, 1 minute of what he said, when in reality there's 2 minutes. So try to find the full picture if you can, just in making an assessment of him, of anyone else. I think we live in a world of sound bites, and it's not always giving people the full picture of what's gone on. Regardless, he was suspended at that point off of Twitter. This past April, his home in Romania was raided as part of a human trafficking investigation. And there were claims made that a woman was being held there against her will. They had been looking into crimes of human trafficking and rape. He was not charged. He was not arrested, as far as I can see, on those charges. I don't know what they came up with. I don't know what they found on him, but to me, it looks like not enough to make an arrest or a charge there. Again, the majority of the content you see from him is not from him. It's stuff that other people have posted. It's stuff that other people have clipped and put out there. So let's talk a little bit about how I feel about all this now. First of all, is he controversial? Yes. Do I agree with a lot of what he said? No. Do I agree with some of it? Sure. He makes a point here and there that I'm like, I agree with that. Sometimes, usually he'll be talking. What happens with me on some of the clips I see with him, he'll be talking for a minute. He starts off and maybe like the first 10 seconds, I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, nope, it goes into a place I don't like. And then my reaction to that has never been, let's ban him. I will remind you that the instinct to ban anyone, again, is a sign of weakness and insecurity. The instinct to debate someone is a sign of strength and confidence about how you feel and where you stand on that discussion. Again, he has not been charged of anything as of right now, and he has not been arrested. Does this conversation change if he becomes a convicted criminal. That's a different conversation we need to have at that point. What was he convicted of? What did he do? Let's talk about it. As of right now, this is a guy who is being removed from these sites because of words that people don't like. Again, he had those videos that circulated about where he was physically hitting those women. That was a while ago. He wasn't banned at that point. That was already out there. So why is he being banned now? If those are the videos that were the problem, right? That he claims was consensual, that he claims that girl and him were friends. If those, I don't even know. Sometimes I wonder what's an act with him, or what's real versus what's like he's putting on a show for people. But if that was the concern, then why didn't you ban him off of all the social in 2016? Well, I'll tell you why. Because he wasn't influential enough to warrant concern. People are now saying this guy's words have caught fire. He's extremely popular. He's being clipped everywhere. There's a segment of the male population that's being drawn to him. Now, let's go in now. I don't think they deemed him influential enough to make that across the board ban at that point in 2016 when that initial video surfaced. Again, you're a misogynist, say. Let's assume he's a misogynist, okay? Great, come talk to me. Come talk to me. Like, I'm happy to sit here and have a conversation with you. I don't condone misogyny. I don't think it's good for society. I don't think it's good for relationships. Let's talk about why you've been called a misogynist. Let's talk about it. I don't have a problem with a misogynist having content online. Do it. It gives me more opportunity to invite you to come and debate that conversation with me, who has a pretty good reason of why I think misogyny hurts men, hurts society at large, hurts the social structures, and hurts women. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.